Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be doing a full face of Wet n Wild makeup. Kind of nervous about this because some of the things I have here are not stuff I would normally use. Just go ahead and get into this video. I hope everything works out right, and yeah, and now let's jump on into the video. So for primer day, I actually have two Wet n Wild primers. I have the matte and then the dewy one. I'm not sure which one I want to use yet. Since I have combination skin, I get oily around my T-zone, and then the rest of my face I can be dry sometimes. So I think what I'm going to do is use a little bit of matte kind of around my nose and my chin, and then I'm going to use the dewy one on kind of like the high points of my face to help highlight. So for the matte, I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit on the back of my hand and tap in. Kind of got in my nose just a little bit, but this around my nose and kind of a little bit on my nose, but not on like the top, because I don't want to look patchy and powdery and dry. And then I'm going to put a little bit kind of in the crease of my chin, and then just a teeny tiny bit on my forehead. Okay, not using the rest of that. That feels really nice. I have not used that much yet, only a little bit. Now for the dewy one. I'm not afraid to go on with the dewy primer. This dewy primer is pretty much just like liquid highlight. That's why I love this one. So yeah, that is so pretty. So how are you guys doing? This is my third YouTube video and I'm kind of really liking it, so I think I'll continue new posts every Friday. Yeah, and sorry if I'm looking like down from the camera. I have a mirror like right next to it, so yeah, that is why I'm doing that. Now on to the next step, which is foundation. So for foundation, I have a couple options. I have the Wet n Wild stick foundation in the shade Soft Ivory, and then I have two of the Wet n Wild Photofocus in liquid foundation in Shell Ivory and Soft Ivory. I'm kind of really pale right now, so I think I'm gonna go in with the lighter shade, which is more yellow undertone, but it's okay. We can make it work. So I'm just gonna put some of that on the back of my hands and then go into my face. This foundation is very full coverage if you want it to be, but I find when I make it full coverage, it's super cakey on me. So I try to make it go far so it's more of like a medium coverage, because I don't like cakey foundation. As I'm sure all of you don't like cakey foundation either. It does cover up my redness pretty well though, so love that. I am like, okay, so that highlighter or dewy primer is like so good. Like you guys can see the glow coming through my foundation, which in a highlighter or like dewy primer, I love that. I just love to see that glow from within look. Okay, so now that my foundation is applied, I'm going to go into concealer and contour. For concealer today, I'm going to go ahead and use the Wet n Wild Photofocus, the only concealer they have, and I'm just going to put that underneath my eyes and kind of highlight, so I'll kind of bring in kind of some triangles. And since I'm highlighting, I'm going to add a little bit on my forehead and then down my nose. That was really uneven. And a little bit right there and on my chin. now to blend this out. Okay, now for contour. I'm using this dual-ended contour stick. Apply a little bit of this because it is kind of warm. A little bit down my nose. And then I put a little bit underneath my lip. A little bit turned into a lot. So sometimes with this one I have a trouble blending it out. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna try it and go in with a brush to blend. Okay, that's working a lot better than that sponge was. Okay, now to blend out my nose. I kind of just take my brush like slanted and do that. And then I'll do like a little bit like dragging it to the side. But I try to keep the middle where I put the highlight still highlighted and not drag it onto that, because then you're not really contouring. Sometimes I have to go with like a smaller brush to do this. I'm just going to use the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. Kind of buff that out. Okay, that side is done, and now this side. Oh, I totally forgot about this, and now I'm not liking the way it looks, so I'm actually gonna wipe that off. This is a like makeup eraser towel from Ulta. And then, since I just took off my foundation, I'm gonna apply a little bit more right there. That was just, normally I could do a little bit there, but today that was just not working, which happens sometimes. If I want to apply cream blush, now is the time I need to do it, because can't do that after powder. I'm gonna go ahead and do it a teeny tiny bit. I'm gonna take this Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, and I'm just gonna kind of take a little bit of that on there and kind of tap that onto my cheeks. Okay, that is kind of glowy, so that helps with my highlight, I guess. And I'm just blending that out now. I don't love that, but I don't hate it, so whatevs. It is what it is. I'm like blotting it out on the back of my hand so it's not so harsh. I said it so it's not so harsh, and then I go in like crazy. Yeah, that's me. We're gonna need to darken my under eyes a little bit because they're kind of really white. I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose. I'm not sure if I love that trend or not. Sometimes I do it. So pull up on my Instagram about blush on the nose. And it was kind of 50-50. Like, some people like it, some people don't. Some people just a little bit, like me. Sometimes if I do, I'll just kind of barely put some on there. But yeah. Okay, so to set this, the only powder I have is this contour palette from Wet n Wild, of course. But this powder is kind of dark, so that might help this situation a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and tap out any creasing that has happened, like I always do. and kind of blend a little bit out. Okay, now to go into this, I'm just going to take my beauty sponge and just kind of rub that. Okay, that's an amazing powder. Do you guys see the difference? That just like whew, brought everybody together. Kind of set my smile lines and my nose. So right now it kind of looks like I'm not gonna have to use much bronzer today because I'm kind of already bronzed up. I am still going to use a teeny tiny bit. Today I'm gonna take this brush and apply a little bit of bronzer, not much though, just like barely tap into this and then just kind of like fluff some more on my cheeks. And I'm kind of, again, dragging this upward like I do. I'm going to carve out my cheeks a little bit because this part kind of already looks carved out, but I'm going to make them even. So I'm taking this flat side of my Real Technique sponge and I'm going to dip into the only powder I have. And yeah. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and apply some highlight. I want some crazy highlight today. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Wet n Wild I'm So Lit. This is crazy pigmented. I hate wearing black shirts and then doing makeup and it's like all on me. I'm just going to go in with this KCO brush and that is so pretty. Does anybody else love this highlighter like so much? Yeah, that's how I'm doing right now. Kind of blend that out a little bit. That is so pretty though. I always have the same reaction, like, but I already know it's gonna do that, so I don't know why I do that. I'm not sure about this. I'm gonna do a little bit on the tip of my nose and kind of down my nose. And I'm going to go into this brow pencil from Wet n Wild. Why do I keep saying from Wet n Wild? Like, you guys already know this. Okay, so apparently, if you guys watched my very first video, which was the glowy fall glam tutorial, if you guys watched that, you probably noticed that in the background there was music playing, which I just looked up, like, I don't remember what it was just like background music, and I didn't really like, I mean, I listened to it a little bit and I didn't really think of, I just put the music in there just like a background way so it wasn't like ghost silence. So I did that, and my mom and my cousin were watching it that night after I posted it, and they just started laughing at me, and I'm like, what's wrong? And they told me, apparently, which I did not know this, I put elevator music into my video. So yeah. So if you guys noticed that, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That was just crazy. I don't listen to music when I'm in an elevator. I just ride the elevator. I probably make no sense, but like, you get me? Okay, brows are done. Story is done because that just was like a weird story. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off this bake now. Okay, bake is off. Now for the eye look today, I did not really know what I wanted to do, but the only thing that I did know is that I didn't want a crazy dramatic look today. That is the only thing I knew, because the only lip product I have from Wet n Wild is this metallic lip gloss. I don't know what it is, but I'm really weird about metallic lip glosses. I don't like them with like crazy looks. I don't know, they just, and shimmers, I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? I don't know. I just want kind of like a basic matte look to go with this. I don't know. I just feel like shimmer. I don't know. But that's me. So that's kind of what I envisioned for today's look. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyelid with this concealer that I used earlier, the Photofocus one. And just kind of rub that all over my eyelids. This is a great concealer and primer. I use this for priming my eyes pretty much every time I do eyeshadow. It's not like super matte, but also not like dewy. Okay, eyelids are primed. For eye makeup today, I'm gonna go ahead and, this is the only palette I had, and it's actually my sister's, but it's okay because she let me borrow it. Thanks, Molly. I'm dipping into this just matte bone shade right here and rubbing that all over my eyelids just to set it a little bit, since I'm not really like doing a crazy look today. I'm just doing some matte shadow, and I'm just gonna set that all over. And now I'm gonna go ahead, I have this transition shade and this transition shade. I'm not feeling this shade. I'm thinking I'm gonna go for this one up here. This one's just too warm for me. I'm just gonna start in the crease and kind of buff that out. It's a really pretty shade. Okay, I also had a question for you guys. Do you guys have any editing apps you recommend? Currently I'm using iMovie, but I'm not really, since I'm into YouTube now, I want to be able to put like text on the screen where I want, but iMovie like limits it where you can like put it here, or you can only put it on the top. I don't like that. I just want to put the text where I want to put the text. So if you guys have any recommendations for editing apps, please comment them down below. I do have an iPhone, so yeah. I'm gonna dip into this dark brown and take it right in my crease. Do you guys ever feel like you go into a shade and you're thinking it's not as pigmented, and then you go into it and you're like, whoa, that's me right now. I was not expecting that much pigment, and it's looking more like I was going for a little light wash color, and now it's like a smoky eye. Kind of how makeup works though. A lot of people just start makeup and then you don't know where it's going, you just put colors. Even though it's not what I envisioned, it's actually really cute. I'm loving this brown shade. Normally I don't use this palette because it's my sister's, #1, and I just have other palettes I grab usually. So kind of happy I did this challenge and getting back into makeup I don't normally use. And this is like $4.99 or something like that. So if you like this palette, definitely go. Not so much. If you like this palette, definitely go get it. You can get it from like Walmart, CVS, all the places that sell Wet n Wild. I think what I'm going to do is clean up the edges a little bit because they kind of went pretty far out. So I'm just going to take that powder from the beginning and just kind of go like that, and that will actually clean it up. I think Jaclyn Hill had that trick, and ever since she shared that, I have been using this trick and love it. Because it's not as harsh as tape, which, because you all know how tape can be like. Okay. I don't know if I want to cut my crease or just add some shimmer onto my lid. But first I'm going to put the brown a little bit closer to the center. For the lid, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the highlight in Precious Petals. And I'm actually not even using a brush. I'm just going to kind of tap on my lid very lightly. I don't want like crazy. I just want a little bit of shimmer. And now I'm going to go back in with my blending brush and kind of blend around those edges. So I'm going to go ahead and take that same shade, actually the transition shade, and kind of add it to my lower lash line. It's not my favorite eye look, but it's a Wet n Wild challenge, so yeah. I'm just taking my sponge again and blending, and I'm actually going to add a little bit of setting spray on it because I'm feeling kind of dry, like a desert on my face. Now I feel a little bit refreshed and not so desert-like. I want something on my waterline since it is so smoky. I kind of want something there. So, Wet n Wild Megalast liner, and put that in my lower waterline. Now I'm going to go ahead with the Wet n Wild megaliner. That was the megalast. This is the megaliner. And do just a line across my eye. I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara. Okay, that is one coat. Once that dries, I'm going to try to do a second coat and see if I can build this up a little bit more. My lashes aren't the longest, but they're not like super short. But they do like grow like straight down, and even when I curl them within like a few seconds, they're just like back down. So that is kind of hard. That's why I like lashes. False lashes, I mean. Now I'm going to do the bottom. So while that dries, I'm going to go ahead and put my lip on. So for my lip, I have, like what I showed you guys earlier, this metallic, it is the Wet n Wild Mega Slicks Lip Gloss in Bronze Berry. Okay, so that is the lip gloss on. But yeah, that is today's challenge. I think I did pretty okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.